What's up, everybody? Shawn P Greene. It's currently 10:11 a.m. East Coast time, Buffalo Standard Time. I have no idea what I'm doing this year, but I just wanted to come on and introduce the fact that I will be back this year for the Shawn P Greene Show. That's right. Finally deciding to come back, do some interviews, do some commentaries, even Bible studies, even prayer requests, whatever. And my hashtag for this is the Shawn P Greene Show. Well, before that, no rhyme, no reason, the Shawn P Greene Show. And that's going to be my whole thing. I want to make sure that you can hear me. Testing 1, 2. Seems like you can hear me. I got no virtual background on right now. Excuse me. I'm going to make sure that I revamp the look, though. And I know that some of you might not enjoy watching either one of these two things. Desert Storm, Desert Shield, 1990, 1991. I was stationed on the USS Ranger, an aircraft carrier. I was an aviation fueler. ABF is the rating. And I was E1 through E3 on the flight deck of that carrier. The other thing that was happening was I was a fan of Star Wars, and my friend, who is also a Navy veteran and also was on the same carrier in the same division, V4 division, as I was while I was stationed there. And so he gave me this as a gift. So I just want to put that out there. Why that's up there is that's the reason. Right now I'm just in my downstairs. As you can see, my kitchen's right here in that little corner there. And this is my little corner, my dining room, where I conduct all my bills. You know, I got all these things coming from the different companies. Gotta pay second of the month. Bills. You know what I'm saying? Currently, I am, if you've been following me on different networks, different parts of my social media. Right now, I'm on Facebook on the Shawn P Greene Show's page. And let me just tell you, I hate the way Facebook is making you switch back and forth from your profile page to your topical pages from your profile. I think it's annoying. I don't know why, but I think it's annoying. You know, plus the groups are now becoming part of pages, and that some groups are becoming pages. I don't know. It's confusing. But the Shawn P Greene Show is what you're watching if you're watching this on Facebook Live. Now, I might post this on my personal page, ShawnPGreene.com. You can go to that. You'll see my personal link is Shawn Patrick Greene, all one word. But then I also have this streaming live right now on my YouTube channel. And they started doing a new thing with that as well. I mean, all these tech companies are losing people. They're downgrading with all these different positions in the tech world. But the users are still there. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they're losing users. I have my reasoning for it. But anyways, YouTube, owned by Google, owned by Alphabet. I think that's the parent company. And of course, Facebook is now a division of Meta. but YouTube, my channel, if you've been paying attention, has had a bunch of stuff that I've had from on my VHS tapes in the past. So that's one thing. I've also uploaded back in December 36 videos of footage from the big massive snowstorm. So that's on there. Plus the retro 2014 Snowvember storm. 2014's 8 foot of snow and drifting that pounded us in 2 days time. But this blizzard was something else. So that's on there if you want to look at some of those videos. Also, I got a lot of stuff that I've been posting. A lot of personal family videos from, Christmases, Thanksgiving, birthdays, different kinds of activities in the church that I was involved in back then, down in Florida. Brooksville Assembly of God, also known as now known as Grace World Outreach Church. I call it the Bubble. It's a big dome church. Plus, I've been posting a bunch of stuff that I was doing in my own living room, dining room / studio / one-bedroom apartment while I was living in the city limits of Brooksville, Florida, a little small town. So I got a lot of stuff affiliated with that. Like I have a football game from the high school, going on there. Plus Walmart flag football or tackle touch, or we played various versions of it. But when I worked at Walmart distribution there in Florida, we played football. At least 8 of us would show up, and we would play on a weekly basis. Wednesdays or Thursdays. We were weekend shifters. So that was my fun activity in my early 30s. But so far I got up to 2,000 loaded, and I got today's Thursday. So I got one more video of the Shannon and Shawn show. Shannon being my cousin from my mother's side. His mother, Monique, and my mother, Carol. French Canadians. They're sisters. So he's my cousin from that side of the family. He was visiting at my apartment one day, and I figured, well, let's capture the moment. It was fun. We just goofed around. We just had a little bit of fun. But amongst that, right before all that, actually it was right after that, I did a series of 4 Bible teachings that I felt like, hey, let's just practice being on camera doing a Bible study. Something I've never done before that. But I've always wanted to give it a try. So that was my first attempt at doing video broadcasting before we even had YouTube pages. This is 2000, remember. Nothing was really social media like it is today, where we could just post videos of everything. So 13 years later, I finally put it up there. I've been waiting to put it up there. I've had some ideas what I wanted to do with it, but no production value whatsoever, just raw camera data. And that's it. Just keep it up there, put it up there, let the content, speak for itself. And got pretty interesting topics that were brought up during that time. I'm going to be doing something like that again very soon. Most recently, I've been teaching Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. at my home church, the Bread of Life Church in South Buffalo, New York. That's right, I'm broadcasting from New York State, but from the west coast of the state. Since we're on the Great Lakes region, we are on the west coast. of New York State on Lake Erie. And just to the north of us, we have Lake Ontario. Now, I haven't done this video since May of last year. And a lot of reasons why. Number one, preparing for a film festival, Great Lakes Christian Film Festival, which went off really well for 2022. This is our 8th one. Our 9th is coming up. We're planning to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan this year. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but it's going to happen. I believe that I heard from God in doing it then. And I don't think I ate lasagna, so I don't think it was heartburn. I think it was truly something God told me to do, so I'm doing it. Secondly, been teaching in, like I said, teaching since this summer. Well, in Bible study. I mean, we some of us take turns teaching. But we went through the whole book of Acts from the summer all the way until 2 days before our big snowstorm in December. And then we just started up 4 weeks ago on the book of Daniel. And we're going chapter by chapter. We're taking our time. We're trying to understand it and learn it versus just reading through it, blowing through it, not really discussing anything. Really studying and breaking it down what it means. Certain things, certain words, certain names, places. And really, my focus is always context. Context is so important because I've noticed over the years, you have a lot of Christian churches that take a scripture and make a whole church out of it without bringing context to that scripture. And most of the followers just follow whatever the leader is doing. Whatever. It's kind of silly. So we're going to be changing some of that. We've been changing that. We've been breaking it down. We're trying to understand it. Some of us have read it so many times that we could quote some of the scriptures or even a verse, not really understand what was being said by whom and why. So, if anything, I'm taking a scholastic or journalistic approach to learning what the Bible is all about. On top of that, I'm also learning, different sources, different types of Bible sources, and not only just that, but just different historical things going on in Judeo-Christian society. So I got new books, so I'm just leaving it at that, and we'll talk about those later maybe. But today's just kind of like it's a little bit of a little introduction of what my plans are for the next couple months, and we'll just call it season 3 or whatever, of the Shawn P Greene Show. That's what I'm going to be doing. And you see up there in that corner, I got a picture of me in my Navy as an E2, I believe. Excuse me. My Navy outfit. So I'm going to do all kinds of stuff. The last season of this Shawn P Greene Show, we did started doing Word Wednesday, but because we're doing Bible study on Wednesdays, probably won't be doing that. I don't know. Just depends on how I feel that day. On top of that, we had Fun Fact Friday. We just brought up stuff, look up stuff, go through the rabbit hole. Hey, what's this all about? And usually Wikipedia has been our guide. Not necessarily the source. It's not the primary source, but it's a guide to what's going on, what we want to do, what we want to learn. And commentary on political, social events and whatever. That's why it's No Rhyme, No Reason, the Shawn P Greene Show this year. Because I don't know if I'll have a continuous series of hashtags throughout the year. it's organic. I'm going to have some guests again. Last year I had some great guests. You can always go back to the Shawn P Greene Show link on my website. Check it out. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, all that stuff. I mean, I have that page, but I'm not broadcasting right now on Twitch today. I'm broadcasting on Twitter because it's just an announcement. It's not really a part of the show yet. We're not completely doing the show with this look. I might completely surprise you. Well, maybe I won't. Who knows? Update, both of my parents are doing well. And it is frigid here in Buffalo. There's actually a cold chill advisory in effect as of 31 minutes ago. Wind chill advisory now 2 minutes ago here in Buffalo. And we're looking at 27 degrees, and when it's a wind chill, usually gets down to below temperature. So it's got to be a cold one today. Got my phone here. See what's going on. I'd like you, if anybody's interested in joining. Okay, the sun comes up in a moment. Okay, here's my dad now. Here's a quote my father put. Excuse me. Just checking some emails here or text messages. If the sun comes up in the morning, when does the daughter go down? Oh, okay. There's your riddle of today given by my father. So my father is in rough shape, COPD. He's doing well though. He's still, he and I, we text back funny messages all the time to each other. So we communicate. We're doing well as far as making sure. There's my new logo, by the way. Anybody seen it yet? Okay, so that's my new logo. What else? I mean, if you want to join in today, it's going to be kind of like an open forum. It's not really meant to be an uptight version of the show. Here's my webpage. I'll just go through it real quick to kind of show you things. Fudge Witless News. This is a little video snippet I did to kind of recap what happened in November 2022. And I used a little dramatic, cinematic, hydromatic. It's grease lightning magic to it. So I'm on video streaming. Twitch is a live stream. I'll probably use that for the Shawn P Greene Show. Vimeo, which I have my latest movie. It's uploaded. Okay, there it is on the side here. I got a YouTube channel there. I got a Rumble and Odyssey, which I really don't check. I don't know what's going on with that. I do got some of these things. Probably could be put on the bottom of the page. But my primary links. See, this used to be all icons here for the links to all the social media. I don't know what happened. They just discontinued using that. So, but you want to give, we got PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, and so on and so forth, different links to different things. So if you're interested, the podcast, Shawn P Greene Show, this is where you can go and find the latest. You see, I got the latest things there. May 10th was the last official show I posted, but I did do a couple recap videos, in December, kind of close out episode or the last episodes of 2022, and maybe you can call it the season 2 ending. or whatever. It correlates to, the end of last digit of 2020s, but it's not necessarily like a full-blown show. Then we also got the Bread Unlimited podcast. That was the new one I launched this year as a means to give you an interview style, podcast show for my listeners, and for my listeners I got it on my YouTube channel, but also it's on its own YouTube channel. Excuse me, I got the hiccups now. And it's also on the Bread of Life Church's website, YouTube channel. So you can check out these interviews. This picture that you see here is actually my Uncle Roger I interviewed, which I was so happy I could do that. My Uncle Roger, he's an author, and that's kind of what we were talking about. But these are people in the faith that people don't really see or hear a whole lot, on a broad scale. There you go. You can see me. I'm live on my Twitter page as well. I'll bring that up in a second. But my Uncle Roger had a lot to say, has a lot to offer. He's been writing a lot. So this page gives you the playlist. My latest episode with Erica Lopez will be launched on this channel on this coming Monday at 10 a.m. So you'll see a couple more of those podcasts. But I've had some great interviews with some great people. I started it with we had original concept. We did it with Pastor Mark Robshaw, 2021 of March, before the pandemic hit. And then 2 years, a year and a half later. Oh no, that was after pandemic. It was a year after the pandemic hit. And then this past summer, I just launched a series of interviews with different people from the church, my friendships, my family, and now other ministers. So this is the next one coming up. If you want to press your notification like I just did to notify myself, podcast will be launching on this channel. So what else? Projects. All right. So projects, films. Got this thing called Eye on the Road, which is all about traveling. So I got a lot more videos I'm going to be post-producing of my travels, mostly East Coast U.S. From here to Florida, down to, different parts of West Virginia that I stopped at. Went to Nashville once, but I've been doing a lot of trips from the city of Buffalo going outward. That was where I started it all. So it's called Eye on the Road. Fudge Witless News I already told you about. It's kind of like my little video segments of different things that happen here in Buffalo. Some reports I did. Bomb cyclone. That was the big one. But that wasn't considered exclusively like Fudge Witless News, but it's part of that idea. It's kind of like on the wayside right now. Who knows what I'll do with that. But then there's the Buffalo 48-Hour Film Project. So that's right there on the page, ShawnPGreene.com. All updated. I got links to all the movies I did for that on that page. Keep it clean. And here's 60 Seconds is the latest one. See if I got a link to that. Yeah, it just goes right to the page. Okay. So there you go. You want to watch 60 Seconds, the latest installment of shows, the movies we did, go for it. I got my posts, which are just random topics. Bomb cyclone. Brad Henke passed away November. My little article on that, my little commentary on Gen X and the church, mass media and marketing, monthly recap up to May, weekly podcast recap, Buffalo shooting, all that stuff. So these are little articles I've written and various topics about and other sites. For those of you who don't know, Great Lakes Christian Film Festival. I do a fantasy sports fellowship. Flavor Radio Network, shout out, One Accord DJ Lines, Christian Rhythmic. These four are all under the Christian hip hop segment of my life that has also gone to the wayside. Not that I don't enjoy at the time I did it, but it's just kind of like a lesser thing now in my world. So Great Lakes Christian Film Festival, we're planning that in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so stay tuned. We also have this thing we got, it's called Cross Docs. So that's coming up this weekend, and all next week I'm going to be presenting, some things about Cross Docs, and maybe I can get some interviews of some of those filmmakers throughout my Shawn P Greene season. All right. I mean, I don't have much to say other than that, and it wasn't meant to be an extensive show. I do have the Twitter I wanted to mention. I started posting stuff on Twitter, kind of like a commentary about certain things, but then I retweeted something that, I don't know. Let me just go to my Twitter page quick, and I'll show you. Twitter. Go to my Twitter page if you want to follow along. All right, so share this tab instead. As soon as it loads up, share it. All right, here we go. So, there it is. Go to my Twitter page, Shawn P Greene. It's real simple. I've changed my name to different names. Goofy. My family tree does not fork was my, title at one point. But anyways, here's my group of friends, colleagues in the film industry. This is all part of our super group of the Buffalo 48-Hour Film Project from last year. Total of, I think 27 or more people that were on my team, which is a lot. But they were amazing. Everybody was amazing in one way or another. I was just amazed at how it happened. So here's what I want to focus on. Following 2007 people, and I got about that many tweets as well. And I have 578 followers, and I'm asking you, this is a call to action. Please follow my Twitter, if you will, if you want to. You might not want to. But I was up to 611 at one point. And within 1 or 2 days, I lost 30 people. And then I'm slowly getting up one at a time every day or something. I don't know what's going on over there. So you can see me right now looking at my Twitter. While I'm looking at my Twitter, I'm going to like it. So this is what's happening on my Twitter page. I lost a lot of followers. So if you're watching this right now, please and follow it. I'm trying to get up to 1,000. It's not like, something major important to some people, but I don't know. Maybe more people will be able to help and interact with my show. One of the tweets, Jesus loves you. Here, classic Bible study. And I got these random tweets from cheap bots done, quick quick bots, or I just go right to it. Quick bots done cheap. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so that's a random tweet on a monthly or weekly basis or something. I don't even know. Uh, First time in a while, number one seed. Okay, more bread of life. There it is. James O'Keefe is Pfizer. It is Pfizer discussion. I think it's supposed to be in. I should have typed. But when I tweeted this, that's when I lost 30 people. You know, it's ended the discussion, but everything else didn't seem to be a big problem. You know, sometimes I post some random funny stuff on this Twitter page. Sometimes I just tweet important things, something that hits me or whatever relates to what I'm thinking or feeling at the time. But it's you know, for whatever reason, I lost 30 people. So incredible. I'm just in awe of what happened. All right. So, at any rate, thank you for listening and watching. Short show, short program, short tweet. I'll repost this on a couple other places, but this is really the relaunch of the Shawn P Greene Show that will be coming up shortly. And I want your input and I want your discussions. I want to know what you think. And I know some people are working during this time of the day. I'm going to do some evening casts as well. You might even see my daughter Mariah in some of these episodes if I do them in the evening. So there'll be some distractions. But what I want to do also is, I want to share content that has influenced me this past year. Talk about it a little bit about the people and co-promote them. But in the meantime, I want you to like, follow, share, and all that stuff. And hopefully we'll get better graphics to demonstrate that I have the ability to use After Effects and all that. Who knows? But in the meantime, we'll deal with what we got here. Music is kind of annoying, isn't it? A little bit. So I'm going to try to get some new music too. Loaded up there. StreamYard is the platform. Today's StreamYard is, let's see if I can find it. There you go. I'll stay on for about 15 minutes. Maybe I'll just chatter. I'll invite some people. Maybe we'll just have a little discussion. Get this link again. Okay, I'll show that if you want to join in if you're watching. I'll tweet this right now. If anybody wants to join in, now the tweet is out. I'm also gonna send out a post to Facebook. And post it live now. And then what else? Where else? That's pretty much the only places I post. But at least it's live right now. Okay, so what else? I'm looking around. We'll come in and we'll have a good discussion. If not, that's okay. All right. So maybe I'll do it. I'm going to post it in a group. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to post in the group. Christian filmmaking. What we call it. This is basically the group that I hang out with quite a bit. Christian filmmaking is a group that is a Facebook group I created to bring up topics. I mean, there's a lot of Christian film themed groups for actors, writers, directors, casting calls, announcements of films. There's another guy that does one that's called Christian Filmmakers, which I joined originally. And I was going to make a website called Christian Filmmaking or Christian Filmmakers originally. And instead, I started a WordPress page called Christian Filmmaking. And that's still in development. Now, it's tough when you're a guy like myself who wants to do everything and wants to create new things and all that, but you don't have the people, manpower, or assistance in doing those things. So you got to keep focused on at least one or two things that do well. One of which, the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival. It's probably one of my most successful endeavors in my life. And, I'm enjoying it, so I'm hoping that more people will be involved in the administrative side of things that I'm doing, and would like to be a part of what I build. If not, then it is what it is. I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm not mad if people don't want to help all the time. The Great Lakes Christian Film Festival, however, is one of the most important ones that I'll need help the most on, because that is my biggest event, and seems to be more plans in the future to do more things with it. And instead of pushing it to the wayside, I want to make sure that, as the Lord directs me to build it, that we have the right people on board to be a part of it. I think it's a lovely, I don't know how you explain it, but I think it's a lovely organization. I think it's a wonderful set of groups of people that come and volunteer. I'll show the website now for a little bit, kind of show you what's going on. 2022 was a success. I got all the links right here. Welcome, news, submit, cross docs is what's happening next week. Attend, official selection, 23 official selection, schedule, award ceremony was recorded. You can watch that on this page on GLCFF TV. Plus, you got all the different films that were submitted. So these official selection tab will be moving to here. And we'll have the 2023 official selections. We got the results on here, plus the announcement flyer for this coming up, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, I've had people say, well, what are you doing that for? Why are you going over there? One person in particular said, why are you doing it when you got a support team at church, at your church, your home church? And it's true, I do. But I didn't have that all 8 years. I just recently, this was a good year that my church participated more ever than I did ever had in the history of this film festival. So grateful for what occurred. But for whatever reason, God asked me, or before the 2022 festival, to start making plans for Grand Rapids. Matter of fact, 2021, that summer, while we were doing it in East Aurora, God told me to take a trip to Chicago, and on your way back, go through Michigan, visit various places, and I did. So in August, you go to ShawnPGreene.com, you'll see I did a little snippet on my Chicago trip. But he said, go to Grand Rapids. We stayed the night there. We went to the little zoo they had. Not really. I've been to good zoos. San Diego, I went to a long time ago, which I loved. Went to the Tampa Bay Lowry Park Zoo. Been to the Cleveland Zoo. Been to the Buffalo Zoo several times because my daughter loves the zoo. And I went to this little zoo in Grand Rapids. It's quaint. It's a lot of walking. It's high up on a hill, and it's exhausting to walk around there. But I liked it. I loved the atmosphere. Many people were there, so I enjoyed being in Grand Rapids. But the city itself, something about the city just got me interested in doing a festival there. I named Great Lakes Christian Film Festival for the sole purpose of being able to move it around to different cities in the Great Lakes. And I believe that was inspired by God too. That wasn't solely my own indigestion. That was God telling me, hey, build this, and this is where I want you to eventually do it. The pandemic slowed down a lot of things because I was actually planning to research something right after 2019. I was planning on going on some trips throughout 2020 to plan for future things. And it just didn't work out. It was delayed 1 year. So we went 2021 and scouted the areas. We're going to have this festival at somewhere in Chicago someday. Chicagoland, as they call it. We're going to have it in Milwaukee, Wisconsin someday. Sometime it's going to be in Duluth, Minnesota. If not Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is not on a lake. But Duluth is right there on the tip of Superior, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna be moving it around a little bit. We're gonna also try for Rochester, New York, which is an hour and a half from here, right on Lake Ontario. And this way we'll have every lake pretty much covered, like Huron. Matter of fact, you and I, we can go venture. This is I'm going to show you real quick. This is the filmmaking group, Christian filmmaking. So if you're looking to hang out in a group, Christian filmmaking is all you got to look up. Groups/Christian filmmaking. And you'll see, I think Scott Peterson there, guy that translated the Bible into his version called The Message. He passed away a couple years ago. But he inspired a lot of people, to read the Bible. Not in a Shakespearean way, but in a way that makes sense to him and to others. Simpletons, if you will. I was a simpleton. I mean, I actually started reading the Bible, in The Message. So anyways, that's just the filmmaking group of people, and got a great over 1,000 people that are involved in this one. So hopefully you guys want to be a part of it, for producers, directors, actors, techs, everything. Questions and answers. People post stuff, their personal movie related. Sometimes I won't approve things that are not movie related. But so what did I want to say? Let me just go through this tab real quick. So this is the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival, summer 2020, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I just lost my train of thought now. What was I going to do? I don't know. Anyway, it's almost 37 minutes. I'll go for a couple of minutes. Wait for some people if anybody wants to join in. But they, the different cities. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I'm going to look at the map, Google Maps. Google Maps, Google Maps, We'll go from, my neighborhood from South Buffalo to zoom out. There's my church right here, South Park, 1638 South Park Avenue. Around here is the nature preserve, Tift, everything. It's a very beautiful spot. South Park High School. And as we zoom out from South Buffalo, we got a bigger picture of the city of Buffalo and its suburbs. Got a lot of lakes on here. All right, here's Lake Erie. All right, we are very end of Lake Erie. We are not near New York City. This is the westernmost part of New York State. A lot of people don't understand that we are about 400 plus miles away, 6.5 hours at least drive away from New York City. Niagara Falls, New York, and Niagara Falls, Canada. St. Catharines, Canada. They had a big explosion up there recently. Okay. Lake Erie flows to the Niagara River, goes to Niagara Falls, where we have the Horseshoe Falls on the Canadian side and American Falls on the American side. And there is a Niagara Falls, New York, and a Niagara Falls, Ontario. Okay? So you know the difference. So that Niagara River, Niagara Gorge, drops into Lake Ontario, right there at Youngstown. By the way, Niagara on the Lake, if you ever want to visit the region, it's a beautiful little area, little township. They got a nice little park, and they got a lot of history to that spot. But you can see very faintly, especially on the clear day though, you can see Toronto, the city of Toronto skyline from the northwesternmost part of New York State. Such a beautiful landscape. Beautiful lake. So Rochester, hour and a half away from Buffalo. Batavia is right in the middle of all that. Batavia's got a lot going on. People that don't know, Buffalo is about a 2-hour drive from Toronto. Depends on how long it takes you to get across the border. It's a lot easier nowadays than it was. Hamilton, Ontario is pretty close. Mississauga's a suburb of Toronto. And then you can also go to Detroit from here across Ontario, Canada, via London, or take the southern route, 401. You can get to Detroit, Michigan. All right. I'm just trying to share some geographical things here. Okay. Lake Ontario is one of the Great Lakes. Lake Erie is one of the Great Lakes. We created the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival right in the middle of 2 of the 5 Great Lakes. People are saying, well, you should have had it over here. You should have had it over. We're in the middle of 2 Great Lakes. Not as great as the ones that you consider Great Lakes from maybe your region, but they're still 2 Great Lakes. All right, so here we are. Along Lake Erie, you go down to I-90. You come across Pennsylvania very briefly. Erie, Pennsylvania is right there. And if you travel another 2 hours south, Pittsburgh, okay? About maybe 3 hours, depends on traffic. Okay, keep going down 90 along the coast of Lake Erie. You got Cleveland, Tennessee, Cleveland, Ohio. And they have such great attractions. I can see why, you would have a football team there. Even after one left, you got, actually, short story, Cleveland, Ohio was one of the first big cities that had, in our Great Lake to have a football team. But they had several football teams. Cleveland Rams is one. Modell's own moved to Baltimore, as now the Baltimore Ravens, and now the new Cleveland Browns. All right, keep going on 90. You pass around south of Toledo, Ohio, and you cross up I-75. You get Detroit, Michigan. Now, Detroit is not on Great Lake, but Lake St. Clair is close enough. Detroit is between two Great Lakes. Okay, you got Lake Erie, and then you got Lake Huron. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. And of course, way up in Canada, let's look up here. Look at this. The Hudson Bay is huge. It's a huge bay. Okay. All right. Coming back. Here's the Great Lakes, and zoomed out a little bit. You see, Minneapolis is not on a lake, but it's in the region of the Great Lakes. You go north on 35. Duluth is right there. So I want to do a Duluth Great Lakes Christian Film Festival. They also got Grand Rapids, Minnesota as well, but that's not the one we're going to explore. Thunder Bay in Canada. Look at that. This is the Canadian-U.S. border. Maybe one day I can do a Toronto Great Lakes Christian Film Festival. I think that would be awesome. Lake Superior, all right, is the topmost Great Lake. So Duluth, along the coastline of this one, is Duluth, Ashland. All right, then you got Michigan is on the borderline here. This is all Wisconsin right here, actually. Duluth is Minnesota. And you got Superior, Bayfield, Ashland, Wisconsin. Still on Lake Superior, so Wisconsin has at least one lake bordering it. Bad River Reservation. Okay. One of the Native Americans tribes or nation. You got crossing over from Wisconsin to the state of Michigan. Michigan's unique because it's got this little chute, this little offset from Wisconsin mainland. It's completely bordered from Wisconsin on its west and southwest side. You got Marquette, you got Houghton. These are all Michigan towns bordering Lake Superior. All right. Who knew you were going to have a lesson on geography today? Yeah, I got this pausing. So anyways, if you're listening, if you can still hear, all right, that little sliver of Michigan is just Lake Superior, and then it's got two other lakes right there in that area. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I hope it's not frozen on your end. Be patient with me. It's not responding. Stand by. I don't know what's going on. It's frozen. I'm going to have to wait. So if you are hearing me, okay, there you go. We're back. So we are kind of going through the Great Lakes. All right, here we go. Michigan, state of Michigan, Ottawa National Forest in the north part of the state, Hiawatha National Forest, Gwen. These are all national forests. You can imagine it gets a lot of snow and cold and all that stuff in this region as well. In wintertime, Lake Superior, Paradise, Brimley. All right, and then right before we get from the top sliver part of the state of Michigan, we get now to cross over I-75. I-75 stops right there in this little township. Let's just look at it. Sault Ste. Marie. So there's a U.S. and a Canadian side to that town. Interesting. 4 Mile Beach, all that stuff. So this is odd to me. In the summertime. So who knows? Maybe after that film festival, I'll go up there and hang out, bring my camping gear, find a place to camp. We got these all little smaller lakes. Lake Nicollet, Whitefish Bay, Lake Superior ends here. And we got all these connecting bodies of water and lakes and rivers and all that stuff coming through here. St. Mary's River is amongst them, still bordering the U.S. And then you got Lake George, a.k.a. Lake Huron. St. Mary's River again, Lake Nicollet. Here we are, Sweet Retreat, SI. Doesn't look like it's too much of a thing, but I don't know. You guys can, if you are from these areas, you can chime in. Let me know what's what over here. All right, so here we go. We got St. Joseph Canal. Okay, there are a ton of lakes. That's on the Canadian side. I'm going to butcher this name, I'm sure. Munuskong Lake. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Okay, Black Bear Tree Care Company close by. Here we go. We're still in the northern part of Michigan, and we're going to connect. This is all the remote areas right here. How would you like to live out here? You're in the United States on an island in Michigan. The steps at Marblehead, Drummond Island, Shale Beach, Drummond Island, Drummond, maybe that's what it's called, Fort Drummond Marine Resort. All right, destination possibilities. All right, and then so what this is on the Canadian side is St. Joseph's Canal going into, doesn't give me a name of a lake. What's here? Lake Huron. All right, so this is Lake Huron. Begins the northern part of Canada, and this begins, it also is a part of this. What's here? Lake Huron. Lake Huron. Huron. Some people in Canada, they don't pronounce H's, so it's Huron. But if anything, Michigan has the most bordered, as actually 4 of the 5 lakes border Michigan. To the south, you got, just south of Detroit, you got Lake Erie. To the north, you got Lake Huron connecting to Lake Superior and also connecting to Lake Michigan. So Huron connects to to both U.S. and Canada, as does Lake Superior. Lake Michigan does not. In this, it connects to Wisconsin. It's bordered by Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois to the south. And of course, Lake Erie borders Ontario, or is bordered by Ontario, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York State. And Rochester, the city on Lake Ontario, is bordered by Ontario and I think Quebec, maybe. I don't know. I have to look at that. Maybe Quebec does not border Lake Ontario. Ottawa's up there. No, this is all Ontario. This is all Quebec. So New York State and Ontario border. So the most bordered state, though, is Michigan. It is the center of the Great Lakes. Grand Rapids, to me, is like the center of Christian education, Christian entertainment as far as radio, a lot of things about it. Now, I'm rest assured that it's not completely a Christian city, okay? But it's got WAY-FM there. It's got Christian colleges and theological seminaries and a lot of Christian theological seminaries and regular colleges and gospel Bible teaching schools and stuff like that. And a lot of ministries. A lot of ministries are out of that. And I was an Amway distributor at one point. And Grand Rapids was the home of Amway, basically. Ada, Michigan, and I think it's the home base now, somewhere in the middle of the state. But Rich Joe Van Andel, yeah, Ada right there is a suburb. That's the hometown now, and that's the home base of Amway. A lot of people don't even know what that is. They're not even a relevant multi-marketing company anymore. But they were big and back in the 70s and 80s and even early 90s. So they have, Grand Rapids is a nice town. That's all I'm saying. It's got these nice little suburbs and open space, and it's a little bit flatter in the middle of the state, you know, terrain wise. Let's see what this terrain shows. Okay, here we go. Terrain. Is it going to show me terrain? Okay, so it's got a little terrain on the Grand Rapids side. A little bit, not too much. A little bit of hills as you go downtown. It's got Grand River going through it from Lake, Grand River's coming from Lake Michigan. Okay. A couple other lakes, small ravines, rivers. But I just liked it. We stayed here at a hotel around this area. No, that's not the conference center. I mean, that's a prospected place that we were thinking about going to. There's the airport southeast of this town, the city. And then Allendale Township is a little community that, one of our Christian filmmakers resides and has an event. Grand Haven is a little township. I mean, there's a lot of things going on Christian-wise in these areas. Holland, where John Gruters is a filmmaker. He's from that area. They got a big, huge facility there that we probably will try to check out some, while we're there this summer. Maybe a tour. But I personally want to do it in the downtown area, and I got a couple places. Spectrum Theater. There's a place called there it is, J. Van Andel Arena. See, there's got a lot of Van Andel and DeVos named venues out in this area. Spectrum Theater. Let's see, some of my favorite options. We got the DeVos Place. Okay, Campus College of Film and Media. Now this is where I'd like to do it. Van Andel Arena is close by. Let's see, they have a place called Celebration Cinema Studio Park, which has several shops and places. Parking is not the best, they said, around that area. Western Michigan University is close by. Another place that I'd like to consider, but Campus College of Film and Media, that's kind of where I want to build it around that somewhere. Buffalo Wild Wings close by. Of course, I've been to Buffalo Wild Wings. Ain't nothing like real buffalo wings or chicken wings from the Buffalo city limits and its suburbs. And that's it. That's all I really want to talk about. So that's the plan. Great Lakes is a nice region in the country that some people either don't know about or don't know enough about to even consider it a viable vacation place in many parts of this region. So, as I stated last year, or a year and a half ago, it'll be 2 years this summer, Milwaukee, Chicago, Grand Rapids, Detroit, we took a little trip visiting those 4 cities. We went and ate lunch in Milwaukee downtown, drove back to Chicago during a huge rainstorm come through, thunderstorm. We hid underneath the overpass finally got back to our hotel in Chicago. We visited downtown. Beautiful spot, beautiful places, a lot of options as far as where we would host an event. Then we went to Grand Rapids, stayed a night, and then the next day we went to Detroit, went to went to Chicago Cubs game, playing the Milwaukee Brewers. So that was significant. It was kind of like a Great Lakes sports weekend. And then Detroit was hosting the Cleveland, then called Indians, now called the Caucasians? No, Crusaders. Something like that. Guardians. I'm sorry, Cleveland Guardians. So we watched that game in Detroit and then drove overnight. I drove all the way going all the way back home. But that was such a great trip. So there's even more to explore. I definitely want to visit Green Bay one day. Another prospective city to do a film festival in. But Duluth right there is on the map. And then you got Watertown on the very end on this side, which is, Fort Drum, a big, huge Navy or Army base back in, usually it was the biggest one. Watertown's a nice little township. People refer to Watertown a lot when they have lake effect snow from Lake Ontario. So, and there you go. There's your Great Lakes region. Okay. So if anybody's interested, we're planning Grand Rapids. If you want to be a part of the team, just go to glcff.com. And you'll find a link to all that. All right. As always, PayPal donations if you want to donate. There's my email address that you can look up for PayPal or Cash App. We're going to need some funds because we're going to keep building the studio properly, so it's high quality. I got lights, I got sound, I got mixers, I got all kinds of neat things that we're going to be implementing. So please check it out. Go to the Shawn P Greene Show Facebook page. Check out other podcasts. You can always call, text, or whatever this number. and you're going to be able to, participate in interacting with me either on a phone or via StreamYard. You can always log in. So anyways, that's it. That's all I got to say today. I wasn't really planning on doing a show per se. It was mostly all about making an announcement, showing you what my plans are, showing you what the game plan is for my program, some new things that I'm implementing as far as look, style, logo, music, countdown, a couple other things, just to kind of give you an overview. So that's where we're headed. That's where we're going. Continue to watch my videos on YouTube if you wish. Go to my Twitter and watch my Twitter feeds if you want to. But I'm looking for 1,000 followers to ramp up this month. I want to end February 2023 with 1,000 followers on Twitter, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I can finally monetize my channel, or at least the content that's original, and finally get to the point where, hey, I'm a legitimate YouTube channel. And then also my Facebook page. If you're watching on this, continue to share that page for likes and help spread the word on all these platforms to your social media. Please, I greatly would appreciate that. So, with that, thank you for listening and watching. I'm Shawn P Greene. This is the Shawn P Greene Show announcement for 2023, considered season 3, and look for it starting next week. And we're going to do some morning editions, some evening editions, but we're going to try to be consistent, at least weekly, on one day at least. Right now, during the day, Tuesdays and Thursdays are my best days. In the evening, maybe Wednesday nights, maybe Saturday nights, maybe Sunday nights. It just depends on what I'll be doing throughout the week beyond all this. So, all right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of my show. For those that at least were listening, no interaction today, but we're going to change that. We're going to correct that because I want you on the program. I love you, care about you, and I want you guys to grow in the Lord more than anything else. Grow as human beings and help me grow. I mean, I have not arrived. I'll never make that claim. And I'm always learning how to be better. I mean, I was a jerk when I was younger. I completely admit all my shortcomings. You can't hold it against me because I've already acknowledged it. And I've already been punished for it, I think, in my opinion. I think I paid my dues. I screwed up a lot of things, and I can't get into it, but there's a lot of things I did wrong. I admit it. I repent. I'm doing everything I can to be in the right path of according to God's will, according to God's instructions. And I just want to love God's word, his laws, his commandments, his statutes. I just want to love them. Not be a legalist or a condemning soul to humanity, but I want to love his laws. I want to get to know him more. Not the people who think that he's a figment of humanity's imagination. He's proven to me the truth of who's real, who's the living God. So that's where I stand. That's me. That's where I stand. So keep it locked. ShawnPGreene.com. We got a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about. Got a lot of guests we're going to be having on this show as time permits. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is Shawn P Greene, ShawnPGreene.com.